Hello again, Michael Mudd.
Hello, Emily. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I hear you're a little busy.
It's been fun, but busy nonetheless. Yes.
Well, thanks for carving out some time to talk with me again. I know we've done this before, and congratulations on the success of yet another franchise brand. We're talking about kind of the latest and greatest here. So, talk to me about LaundroLab.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, welcome to LaundroLab. This is a marquee brand under the Brand One umbrella. And why I say it's marquee is this one's a disruptor model. It's disrupting an antiquated industry in laundromats. So for anyone that's actually looked at or try to even be interested in laundromats, there's 35,000 of them around the United States today. It's a $5.3 billion industry. And it's mostly people that mom and pop operators that have made very little investments into keeping up their spaces, and they're unsafe, they're typically broken down, they're in bad shopping centers, they're unattended, and there's no technology whatsoever. And we were so excited to come in and intersect LaundroLab, which is basically a tech forward and amenity driven concept in the laundromat industry. They're Uberifying an antiquated industry and disrupting the industry entirely and giving it a better user experience. The user experience is being enhanced with technology and then also amenities. And I can talk a lot about what amenities and what are they doing to create a better, more enriching experience within the concept. But it's categorically different than anything I've seen in the laundromat space thus far.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about laundromat, I'm not thinking about technology. I'm not thinking about amenities. I'm thinking about getting change for paper money into quarters to feed into a machine and hope that, when you shove the quarters in and pull it out, that it actually works. I'm painfully aware that other people's belongings were just in that machine, and usually things aren't, well, I don't know if they're clean or not, but they're usually so old that they don't feel clean. So I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy around the laundromat concept. So keep talking.
Well, so this is what's fascinating about it is this is an essential need for a household. Clean clothing isn't a luxury. It's not an option. You need clean clothing. And there's a lot of underserved communities that are forced to go to laundromats because they don't have laundry services in their apartments. So they need to go to these places that they take their children into places that are somewhat disgusting. It's a needed, there's a concept need for somebody to come in and clean it up and to create a more experiential, enriching environment for these communities. And that's what LaundroLab's doing. So it's almost two pieces of the puzzle. So they enrich the four walls. So we're a 3,000 to 4,000 square foot location, inside of which we obviously have great lighting. You can see this is what a location would potentially look like. This is a location we opened in Charlotte, North Carolina. But it's got better color palette, it's brighter, we got great lighting, and we have great security. The one thing a customer is going to see as they walk through the door, there's a big TV right at the entry of the door with 20 cameras that are being recorded at all times in the facility. So we have the customer security as a top priority. We also are one of the few in the United States that actually have an attendant on site. Well, if you look into laundromats, this is a semi-absentee investor model. Okay, this is an investment in almost an annuity with some upfront tax benefits and some long-term wealth building mechanisms with commercial real estate. It's a layered investment. It's got a lot of interesting things. But when you walk in, we have an attendant that's really there to do wash, dry, fold services. So a lot of our customers will come and just drop laundry off. And then we have an attendant that'll actually do the laundry for them and return it with being dried and folded for them to take home with them. So that's one thing the attendant does, but it also enhances the actual experience to greet the customer. If they have a problem in the facility, we have an attendant on site. We also build lounges that have really comfortable seating in it, couches, TVs. There's TVs all over the place. We have a playroom for children, and we want to make sure that we keep their interest at heart too. So there's a playroom, and we also have a nonprofit company it's called Laundry Cares. Laundry Cares make sure that there's literature in every one of our facilities nationwide, so children get access to books. So when mom takes the kids to do the laundry, they can also read them a story with books that are inside of our facility. That's an important part of what we're doing, is that we're going into underprivileged communities. We're taking advantage of opportunity zones. So I don't know if any investors are listening to this that know about opportunity zones, but it gives you preferential tax treatment when you open a business in an opportunity zone. That's what this is. We're coming in and bettering the communities with a preferred tax program, being in an opportunity zone. We also then better those communities with a better place to do laundry. We provide free Wi-Fi connection for those customers, and we make it a way that it's not such a dreaded task to go to a laundromat. Now, the second piece, technology. Okay, so tech, we are Uberifying the industry because it's antiquated. If you go to a laundromat today, you put coins in it and then you wait, literally physically staring at the machine for it to get done. And that's when you turn your load. Why doesn't the customer connect to the machine through technology? That doesn't make sense. So what we're doing is, one, there's technology on the machine. So customers can select different wash cycles. They can have detergents put into the machine for them. They don't have to bring laundry detergent to the facility. We have a LaundroLab partnership with a hopper that can actually infuse detergents in the machines on behalf of the customer, calibrated to the weight of the load that they put in that machine. Also, they can check status on their load cycle through the technology. They can get notifications when the cycle is complete, so they know to change their load. They get loyalty points where, as they're using the LaundroLab, they can actually exchange their loyalty into free wash cycles within the business. So it allows the customer to connect through technology. They can see really what before they even come to LaundroLab, they can see the live floor plan and see what the utilization rate is in the space right now. So they can see, is there a machine that's available? If they walked in the front door right now, they can check that before they even come down to LaundroLab. So it gives them, there's an interface within the facility through a mobile application that the customers can access. If they don't have a mobile application, no problem. We still get all the data from the customer usage through the Wi-Fi connection. So they're going to connect to the business either through the mobile application, getting loyalty points. They can pay with credit card, Apple Pay, Venmo. We can use a voucher program for university markets. So the way that we can allow payment is diverse. We also can allow options for the franchisee to drive the best performance within their given communities based upon the core demographics that are surrounding that community.
Wow. Where has this been all our lives? I mean, it's brilliant, and yet it feels so obvious. This is fantastic. Okay, so what's the owner doing?
So really, the owner needs to set up the business. So we have a full service franchise program here. We do have a full real estate system. The real estate system has boots on the ground. So we have people flying out to the market and actually looking at sites with our franchisees. We help them negotiate the lease. We help them with the making sure they're not swallowing poison pills before the lease gets signed. We also do a lot of the engineering and helping them understand like what kind of utilities are going to be required. We take out the mistakes that they might incur going into the laundromat business. The franchisee, though, needs to lead the manager. This would be a manager-run facility. So it's basically a manage the manager model. And then depending on the franchisee, they may want to go and do the bank deposit, or they can give that to the manager if they trust them, or they can hire an armored truck service to do the deposit for them. But a lot of the franchisees will come once a week, check on the manager, and then do the bank deposit. And it takes 5 hours a week or less in running this business. And let me explain to you why. Okay, so if you think about laundromats, again, 70% of laundromats, there's 35,000 of them, don't even have an attendant. Because this is really, when you think about it, it's almost like it's a machine business. Yeah. So it's unique in that regard. We get a physical brick and mortar business. We install machines in it. The customers come in and do their own laundry within our machines. So you don't have the labor challenges you see in a lot of businesses. You don't have the complication that's in most businesses being stripped out of this thing, and it drives great return on equity. The cash on cash return for the business is staggering, and that's something that we can go through in the process. We do fully disclose the P&Ls and understand exactly what the performance is, but cash on cash return is an important characteristic that we can definitely produce, or we've shown to produce with our performance to date, which would be disclosed in the disclosures.
Got it. And what kind of investment range are we looking at here?
So LaundroLab is $1 million to $1.5 million to get a location open and operating. That includes the construction, the equipment, and then also the working capital to carry the business to where it becomes profitable. Now, within that investment, though, understand that a lot of our franchisees own the real estate. This is an opportunity that they can own real estate in opportunity zones. So that makes it very advantageous. So we didn't include any tenant improvement allowance in the investment. So the $1 million and $1.5 million would be as if there's no landlord that's contributing with contributions to the construction, which would be part of any lease agreement. So there's TI allowance that might be a factor, but it's not included in the $1 million to $1.5 million. Okay. That also within our equipment, we buy MSRP, the equipment's $1 million. That's the laundry equipment. Now with our national pricing program, that gets reduced to $600,000. So we've reduced the price point by $400,000 roughly for the equipment. And then the equipment is depreciation. So assuming that you're at a 35% tax bracket, you basically write off the equipment at the end of your first year. That's a tax now write-off that you're obtaining. So it really brings the equipment down to $390,000, assuming that you're at a 35% tax bracket on what would be $1 million MSRP. So there's a lot, I'd say there's a lot of tax benefit to the business, not only from an opportunity zone standpoint, also from the depreciation you get with your equipment. So there's some tax components. So the investment's $1 million to $1.5 million all in, but bear in mind there's hard assets that back that investment. The equipment is $1 million, which we buy at $600,000, and then you get the write-off, which brings it down even more. So you have real assets in the business that you're investing in for LaundroLab.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing buying power.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a lot of information, really succinct. Thank you so much. Gosh, you provide so much information. I'm wondering if there's anything that I forgot to ask. Anything else you want to throw in before we wrap up?
Two pieces. There's two more important aspects. So
Okay.
LaundroLab actually came to market with an affiliate called 2U Laundry. Okay, 2U Laundry is a subscription program. It's basically for high-end homeowners that are outsourcing things. They have people come clean their homes. They have people do their gardening. So why are they at home doing laundry would be the question. So instead, 2U Laundry is a subscription program that provides those homeowners a big bag for their laundry. They can fill up the laundry every single week as much as they can fit in that bag. They stick it on their front doorstep. A van comes around and actually picks up the laundry and then returns it to the customer the next day, washed, dried, and folded. So really the founders of that are Alex and Dan. They started 2U Laundry in 2016. They built out a very big business out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And they started thinking, well, why don't we find a place to launder this? And let's do it in a laundromat and see how that works. So they brought together an investor group. So Kim Jones is the president and CFO of Spanx. And she's also sits on the board of directors for LaundroLab. And she's a big investor in the business. And also Eric Eubank is a partner at Pamlico Capital. They have $10 billion of assets under management. He too sits on the board of directors for LaundroLab. Wow. And then also the CEO of 360i, he also sits on the board of directors. So they formed a board and they raised a bunch of capital. And then they actually brought both brands to market. So 2U Laundry is basically a revenue aggregator for what's happening in LaundroLab. Okay, so let me explain this. As a franchisee of LaundroLab, you're investing in a laundromat. Okay, you're going to go into most likely an opportunity zone with very favorable tax preference or treatment. You're going to open up the physical brick and mortar. Now, the affiliate 2U Laundry comes into market alongside of you. Now, you don't have to do anything with 2U because that's an entirely different business. In fact, that's a logistics business. It's a routing business. It's digital marketing. There's a lot of aspects to that don't even, it's not the same type of a business as a laundromat. So 2U Laundry takes care of that as an affiliate function. That's a corporate function that has nothing to do with the franchisee. So why am I telling you this story? Is because that revenue comes into the back door for the LaundroLab franchisee, and it allows them to take thousands of additional pounds of laundry with an entirely different customer segment. Okay, that's a high-end homeowner. They don't go to laundromats. So that customer comes in on the van business through the back door of the facility, And then the wash, dry, fold service I explained to you is happening at mass volume. So that then think of that 2U laundry in this business is Grubhub and Uber Eats. That's what's going on here. So the Grubhub and Uber Eats is handled by 2U Laundry, an affiliate, where the franchisee gets the benefit is the increased revenue that's producing. And it's an aggregator effect of the revenue potential for the business.
Love it. Wow.
So there's two separate customers that are happening within the four walls. So the franchisee then has an opportunity, and I'll explain the layers to this. So there's the standard ROE, right? You're going to get return on equity. That's a given. We can talk about what that looks like. It's attractive, but that's only one piece of what the franchisee is going to receive in benefit. Another piece they're going to get is preferential tax treatments. They're going to get great tax benefit by being a part of a business like this. But third is the real estate piece. So as a savvy investor, they can come in and buy an unoccupied location. So does this look like a McDonald's to you?
No.
Well, it's a McDonald's. So this is the playroom that was in a McDonald's at one time. So
Are you serious?
Yeah, the entity. So this is a LaundroLab, but the entity that it's a DBA LaundroLab. It's actually called McBubbles because it's a McDonald's that they converted into a LaundroLab. So when you think about that, we like pad units. We like to go into retail pads for a LaundroLab. It gets you closer to the street. It allows the franchisee to buy the land, not just you don't have to buy a shopping center. You buy a parcel. Right. Now in that parcel, it's unoccupied. There is no renter in it, right? You're buying an empty building because you want to be the occupant. So you buy an unoccupied building, you form a real estate company, and you form your entity for LaundroLab. Now, at that point, you sign a lease with each other, right? So now your real estate entity signs a lease with LaundroLab. Now, the idea is maybe just take a little tick up on the rent. Not crazy. You're the landlord and you're the leasee, so no problem. Just give it a little bit higher than what the market is around you. But what the real estate now is valued at is a gross rent multiplier. So if you think the value, now an investor that wants to buy your real estate, there's a cash flow that's guaranteed with a 10-year lease agreement. So you basically are now selling it at a multiplier of your gross rent, not what you originally bought the real estate for. So now you're in an opportunity zone, preferential tax treatment. You now have real estate and you've made a substantial return on investment on the real estate. Now, if you sell the real estate, now you take a 1031 exchange. So now you take tax deferred and investing in another parcel and another parcel. So if you're a multi-unit franchisee with LaundroLab, if you wanted to take a real estate play and develop legacy wealth, you can do that on the real estate flips that you might be doing on a multi-unit transaction, or maybe you sell the business and keep the real estate. And that just creates now you've got recurring cash flow and a completely absentee investment on real estate. So this thing is, again, multiple layers. ROE, good return on equity. You also have a good return on tax benefit and preferential tax treatment. And then you also get a great benefit on the real estate play on the commercial side, commercial real estate for LaundroLab in opportunity zones, which makes it even more favorable. Welcome to LaundroLab.
This is amazing. Brilliant. I love the multifaceted approach and all the benefits that it has to its investors. Wow. Thank you for providing all this information. I can already think of some people that might be interested. Yeah.
What they'll experience within our process is transparency. Okay, so the candidate, for us, we want to educate them. A lot of these concepts are new to people. They might even understand what the word opportunity zone is. So that takes a Google search, right? There are some things to learn and to understand. We want to give the candidate access. So it's getting questions answered. We have very robust disclosures here with detailed financials. We believe in transparency in the economics so they can properly model the performance of the investment and understand what they're getting into. We do have a good amount of franchisees at this point. So our candidates can talk openly and transparently with the franchise owners. They'll get access to the leadership team. They'll come and experience it firsthand. We have everyone come to Charlotte, North Carolina before we award any type of access to this brand. One, we want to meet the candidates and make sure they're a good fit for us, but also understanding the way this whole thing operates is very important. The back-end sophistication of LaundroLab is something I've never experienced in a franchise. Because you got to think about it. We're taking in thousands of pounds of laundry and making sure that laundry never gets mixed up. Like it can't get, you have to return the laundry to customer A. If they get customer B's socks, they're going to be upset about that. There is a brilliant, we have in our team, there's a VP of engineering named Greg Baker. Greg Baker runs a team of 8 programmers that do nothing but full-time program code for LaundroLab. It's a proprietary technology that we've created with our company, and it's not available in the marketplace. So that I'd say from a technology standpoint, when I say we're tech forward, there's an actual whole tech team that is part of the company. We have 20 employees on payroll to support right now what is 10 franchisees. Now we have more infrastructure that's needed because we are scaling. The investor group on this company is very serious. We are taking a very dominant position within the space of laundry. We plan to be the biggest national player in the space. I think when we look back in 5 years, we're going to say, wow. I mean, wow. Michael Mudd said that when we were a small company. So it's emerging. We want to grow with the right people, and we're trying to grow at the right rate in the right market. So access is going to be important. Candidates getting information is what we'll provide. That'll allow for informed decisions on the investment.
Excellent. Well, thanks for taking that educational approach, because there's a lot of information and a huge opportunity, I imagine, for some more of a learning curve than others. So thanks for being available to provide that clarity for candidates.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks, Michael. This was fantastic. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate all this information, and what a phenomenal opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. I appreciate your support and taking the time to learn more about LaundroLab. Again, I'm available for any questions, or if anyone wants to take a deeper dive on it and start learning about it, we're available to support them in their research process.
You got it. Thanks again. Appreciate you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you, Emily.
All right, I'll see you.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.